Hey everybody, welcome to Facebook Live. It's Eddie Pepitone and PepTalks. I'm eating a little. I'm eating fancy trail mix, which is raisins, Sesame Street. Folks, you don't deserve this quality. You know, we're about 30 seconds in, and I'm already eating.
Playing with your fucking clown
I have a
nose.
red nose. By the way, I'm a clown. I am a clown. On the weekends, I clown at the top of the Wells Fargo building here in Los Angeles. And Steve Lally, our guest, we have a guest in our studio, Amanda. Amanda, hi. Hi. She's here just watching the podcast. Once in a while we have someone over, and I always feel nervous when we have someone over. How about you?
No, I don't.
Well, I do, and I'll tell you why I do, because I don't want to let them down.
Yeah, but you're eating. Who takes a fucking handful of trail mix and puts it in their mouth just before they go on the air?
Right. And
only
by the way,
you have the courage, Eddie Pepitone.
I have the courage to do that. By the way, a lot of people don't have the courage to go through life without meditation, without yoga, without eating properly. Well, I have the courage to do that. I don't meditate, I don't do yoga, and I don't eat properly. And yet I face life on a daily basis. And a lot of people can't face life without meditating.
Most people don't make it as far as you have in life. Most people don't
Really?
make it as many. Yeah, they don't usually make it to the ripe old age that you have made without these things, these peaceful,
Anyway, folks, you don't deserve this kind of shoddy quality. But I'm glad you tuned in here on Facebook Live, or if you're listening on Sound. Excuse me, I'm burping now because I'm having a Diet Coke, which you're not supposed to have. Aspartame was Donald Rumsfeld. Diet Coke, the sweetener, quote unquote sweetener in Diet Coke is aspartame. Did you hear that Donald Rumsfeld was involved in the
aspartame
yeah.
boom?
He was involved in the production of aspartame.
What
you don't know about that?
He donated his soul to the.
No,
they ground up his soul.
He was. I forget how he was involved in it, but
yeah. I
yeah.
could see his soul becoming aspartame.
Yeah, if
even a small laugh from you, Eddie, is worthwhile. What did he do? I don't know about him and aspartame.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but if you know out there,
we're
too lazy to. Well, now we do have a call. We're going to have a live call today from my correspondent in New Orleans. His name is Dick Smoker, and he will be calling. Dick will be calling in about 25 minutes. 23 minutes. So we have that call to look forward to. He's our correspondent from New Orleans. I've never been to the Big Easy. Have you?
I've been through it, but not in it.
Through it.
Yes.
Now, it's great that Steve has been through New Orleans, but not in it. That means you didn't stop?
No.
How could you go? This is unbelievable to me. How about you folks? That you could drive through without stopping in New Orleans. One of the most interesting cities on the planet, I would imagine.
I was late for a fucking gig in Slidell, Louisiana, and I had to get there.
Now, I'm also amazed.
Collect my $150 from the Comedy Zone.
He lives a hard scrabble life. Steve lives a hard, like a lot of you folks.
This was many years ago. But yes, I do live a hard
You've gone down since then, from what I know. $150 for you.
But in the 90s, that was a lot more money.
Right.
Come on.
I'm just saying, $150 for you these days is a lot.
No, it's about average. It's about.
Look, Steve lives one of the lives of what you people live. You the proletariat. It's a hard scrabble life. He's interviewed by different publications about how do you keep going, that kind of thing.
I'm mainly on this podcast, ladies and gentlemen, to make Eddie feel more successful about himself.
It's not working.
One of my functions.
Now, I wanted to talk about a couple of things.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's talk about. Have you heard about the red tide?
The real red tide with the fish washing up. There's another red tide happening.
Oh, you don't know. So far, you've disappointed me greatly in Donald Rumsfeld's involvement with aspartame. I'm going to Google it. But the red tide that's hitting South Florida now. Aren't you from Florida?
No, Chicago. But I have family in...
Oh, you have family.
I have my sisters in Gainesville, but that's nowhere near South Florida.
It's nowhere near South Florida?
No, it's like...
What is South Florida? Here
South
it is.
Florida's like
worst
Miami.
Worst red tide. It's Miami.
Yeah.
Worst red tide bloom in over a decade kills hundreds of marine mammals along Florida's west coast. West coast.
That's that's the redneck Riviera. That's the redneck
and this is
Riviera.
fucked up. I mean, it's just fucked up that the fish are dying. It's so fucked up. The ongoing...
But that's where the oil spill was, dude.
The ongoing toxic algae bloom is considered to be... Yeah, huh?
That's the oil spill. That's the Gulf of Mexico, bro.
Let me finish. The ongoing toxic algae bloom is considered to be the longest red tide outbreak for the Gulf of Mexico in over a decade. And officials say it will most likely last until 2019.
But how much oil did
Let me finish.
spew in-
High concentrations. I don't know how much oil.
a fucking
A lot.
Yeah.
Now oh man, this kills me. I'm looking at pictures. All this sea life, man. High concentrations of toxic algae known as blooms have affected at least 120 miles of the peninsula's Gulf of Mexico coast since November 2017. Right. When did the leak happen?
The leak was 2009, but then they dropped a bunch of chemicals on top of the oil to submerge it, to get it off of the... So there are some other bizarre chemicals that were dumped into the Gulf of Mexico.
This fucking pisses me off. Officials say nearly 300 sea turtles have died because of the toxic bloom. Pelicans, manatees, and a whale shark have also washed ashore since this unprecedented bloom started. I'm looking at manatees, dead manatees. Not only does this red tide affect marine life, but it also poses health risks to beachgoers along the west coast of Florida. Red tide blooms produce toxic chemicals that can affect both marine organisms and humans. The Florida red tide organism, known as K. brevis, produces breve toxins that can cause the central nervous system of fish and other vertebrates, can affect the central nervous system of fish and other vertebrates, causing these animals to die. Wave action can break open K. brevis cells and release these toxins into the air, leading to respiratory irritation. For people with severe chronic respiratory, such as emphysema, asthma, red tide can cause serious illness. And what's unbelievable is these motherfuckers. Now, this is just some AccuWeather.com like website, right? They're not saying what it's from.
Right.
And it's, and you're probably right. The motherfucking oil, the BP oil spill, and then the chemicals they threw on top of the BP oil spill. That is unbelievable to me. That right here, anyway, I am not seeing.
In the comments section, look, what are people saying in the comments?
I don't go to comment sections.
I do.
I don't, because I feel like people who go to comment sections are brutally mean. I've had a lot of bad things.
People will say things
me.
in the. I saw that on the Joe Rogan podcast.
They didn't like me.
They didn't.
Red tide in Florida. Oh man.
But dude,
I'm not seeing any. And now with net neutrality, right? The net neutral. When is the net neutrality going to happen?
I think it kicks in the beginning of next year. I think that's when it starts. I could be wrong, but
I tell you, man, when I see fucking, being vegan and just seeing these beautiful creatures, sea turtles, manatees, pelicans, being killed by this shit.
I know, dude.
By this fucking, by the greed, the greed of the oil companies. I get so angry.
Well, also the populations down there in the Gulf of Mexico, they don't give a fuck. The people don't give a fuck down there. I mean, the people.
They're there to party,
they're
or
just there. They vote wrong. They're not the brightest people. I'm not going to say they're
we'll have to get a correspondent from Florida. Today we have one from New Orleans.
Louisiana.
Right.
That's right on the fucking...
Yeah, but Dick Smoker is kind of an well, we'll see what he probably won't know about the red tide. He might know about the red tide.
Well, I hope he does, because he'll know more than we do.
He's more into
we need a
smoking cigars, which is his moniker, Dick Smoker.
What we need is like a redneck tide. That's what we need, a redneck tide, where people who vote wrong just wash ashore and we don't know why.
There's nobody to vote for yet, is there?
No,
well,
who vote wrong. I said people who vote wrong.
Motherfucker. Man, that just pisses me off. Caused by algae bloom.
Well, it's the same thing in the Lake Okeechobee. They have some crazy algae weird thing going on down there where it's affecting the water supply and people's health, and that's in South Florida. So I do know that's a happening thing, and you know how I know that is because the guy who's trying to get Debbie Wasserman Schultz out of power, his name is Tim Canova. And he documents a lot of that on social media. The algae bloom that's going on in the Okeechobee, Lake Okeechobee down there. It's like an ancient swamp preserve down in South Florida. And they have some crazy algae bloom that's affecting the water supply and people's health.
And do they talk about it being related to oil spills?
No, not that one is not related to oil spills, but it's related to man-made. It's very well may be related to man-made environmental catastrophe.
Like
use well, what do you?
Warmer temperatures.
Warmer temperatures of the ocean, which we know is happening because of global warming.
But that's a lake. It's not the ocean.
Same thing. Warmer temperatures.
Warmer temperatures, low salinity, high nutrient content, calm seas, and rain followed by sunny days.
I'm glad you came along, Amanda.
Yeah, except we can't hear her, or people can't hear her.
I don't understand.
But what did she say?
You can just repeat it.
Say it again.
No, we can't hear her.
Warm ocean surface temperatures.
Warm ocean surface temperatures, low salinity,
high nutrient content,
calm
seas, and rain followed by sunny days.
Rain followed by sunny days. We can't do anything about that.
But what? Yeah, but if this shit is caused
Florida.
by oil and man-made, the global warming, it's really fucking horrible. I mean, we're seeing, and I've been kind of focusing on this lately, is just the ecosystem. I mean, here in California, yesterday I think it was 17 wildfires, different wildfires burning, including this catastrophic fire up in Northern California near the Oregon border.
Oregon is having a fire right now.
Well, this one is near Oregon. It's in Northern California. Are you talking about a different fire?
We're probably talking about the same one.
You're a fount of information. You're just a fount of information. Oregon's having a fire. No, it's in Northern California.
I'm a fount of information?
You're a fount of information. You're like, and then I go, oh no, it's in Northern California. It's near Oregon. Oh, that's probably the same fire. Oh, thank you. But I mean, 17 different wildfires. What I'm talking about is just the ecosystem, the climate breakdown. I hate when they call it climate change, but the climate breakdown that's happening. And this red tide has got to be part of it.
What about chemtrails? Do you think the spraying the shit in the atmosphere is a real thing? And do you think
Why are you bringing that up when we're talking about real climate breakdown?
No, I'm asking because if stuff's being sprayed in the atmosphere, it's landing on the stuff that's burning. So
yeah, but you're talking about a hypothetical when we don't need to talk about hypotheticals.
I'm just asking you what you think of it. I'm asking.
I mean, but why when there's already so much to talk about that's real?
You open this Pandora's box, buddy.
I'm talking about real science and real climate breakdown, and you're talking about a possible conspiracy theory about the government spraying the skies. I mean, why even jump to that?
Well, then let's not. But I just wanted to know what you thought of it. Obviously, you don't think it's real.
I just think it's ridiculous to talk about when we're talking about what's really going on.
Okay. But that's not going on at all? You don't think the chemtrails, you don't think they're spraying anything?
God. I don't think it's something we need to talk about, really, when global warming has produced just severe effects all over the globe. Japan, people dying. Sweden had all these wildfires. I'm about to go to Amsterdam, not to brag, folks. I am going to Amsterdam. Monday was our last episode with Tom?
No. Our last
episode. Oh, it's just me and you, but we did that Lover's Guide to Amsterdam, and I'm going to Amsterdam Monday, and they're having a heat wave, and they're not used to that either. But I just think it's funny that you know, as we're talking about serious issues,
but I think
right,
I think
you're like, hey, what do you think of Bigfoot? Do you think Bigfoot?
Come on, that's
By the way, what?
It's not equatable to Bigfoot. That could be something that's actually happening.
Yeah, all right, let's say it is, but it's fun. It's like taking it from a realm of like talking about actual
to conspiratorial.
Right. Yeah, to like something, I mean, do I believe the government is dropping toxins on us? Do you believe it?
I don't know. That's why I asked you.
You don't even know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But if it is
what do you think?
I'm not sure, man.
Oh, great. Well, I'm so glad you brought it up then.
I think it might be I think it might be real.
So glad you brought it up. So glad you brought it up. I'd like to bring up something that I don't know about. Right?
Well, that's why I asked you what you think of it.
And I think I told you.
Yeah, and in long-winded explanation.
But we do have some well, I mean, I gave it to you right between the eyes. I was saying that we're talking about real shit and you.
Well, the reason I brought it up is because if that stuff is happening, then it's making the fires worse. That's why I brought it up, because it's a possible thing that could be.
But why would the U.S. government?
I don't know if it's the U.S. government. I don't know who it is doing it. It could be major corporations.
All right, let's go to why would anybody want to make the fires worse?
Because they're fucking
What's the
sick.
motive?
Why does any arsonist want to set blaze to things?
Oh my God! All right, folks. We do have a bunch of sponsors, and this stuff is real. And here we go. This first one is from WriterDuet. They're new, and we want to welcome WriterDuet on board. We haven't seen any sponsorship money yet, have we? Have we?
No.
We have not. So although these sponsors are real, written by Matt Rasamoto, our producer, they also aren't coming through with the money. I mean, I always thought that having sponsors...
The check is in the
mail.
mail.
No, I always thought that having sponsors would increase my quality of life, our quality of life. But it has not, has it?
No, sir, it has not.
It has not. I mean, you're talking about chemtrails.
Yeah. Maybe that's why we can't get a sponsor.
No, you talking about chemtrails means your quality of life isn't good. I really believe that people who talk about chemtrails, their quality of life is shitty.
Well, that explains a lot. That explains quite a bit.
No, because people who like to talk about that stuff,
What are the other ones? There's got to be a list. That's not just chemtrails. There's got to be a few.
Yeah, Bigfoot, reptiles. Anyway,
all right.
And I just did Sam Tripoli's podcast, which is a fun podcast, and we were talking about stuff like this.
Right, but that's a conspiratorial.
That's
right.
That's the deal with that podcast,
right.
And he's funny about it, and he thinks it's funny and interesting to talk about. I tried to keep it to military stuff.
Right, you wanted to keep it to real stuff.
I wanted to keep it to military. And we went to this. Ryan, his partner, we went to this. I think it was called the unethical chemical experiments, and a history of it, and it was fucking scary shit. But then you go into that rabbit hole. I mean, I just don't want to go into a rabbit hole of, that everybody's horrible and that there's all these conspiracy. Even though, I mean, some of it does exist, but WriterDuet, a new sponsor in it, and let me tell you something. WriterDuet, written by Matt Rasamoto, come through with the money. So here it is. Here's the WriterDuet is online script writing software for people who need to write things down before they say them. You don't want to go through all the trouble of ordering chloroform from eBay, testing it, finding out it was just aftershave, reordering it from someone else with better reviews, driving to the next town, stalking one of those topless baristas from Instagram. By the way, what is he talking about there, stalking topless baristas from Instagram?
I was daydreaming while you were reading that. I don't know.
You're not much use.
That was a Clint Eastwood voice there. That was
was
like about to blow someone away. I don't know. I've never seen a topless barista.
From Instagram?
Mm-mm.
I just think it's funny. Thinking of an unsuspecting way to lure them into your van. Finally getting them into your van, knocking them out, wondering if you're just going to knock them out. Why all the fuss with the chloroform? I mean, it cost as much as that copy of The Power of Positive Thinking you bought last year. Maybe you should have just read that instead, but now you're committed. So you take the van to an abandoned farmhouse, lock her or him into an empty silo, and when she wakes up, you forget what you were going to say. Get WriterDuet and write things down you want to say so you don't look like an idiot. The link is in the podcast's description. WriterDuet. So welcome aboard, WriterDuet, and please pay.
Please send us some fucking money.
Yeah. We have a call from a New Orleans correspondent coming in 6 minutes, but let's go to a call from our phone line here. Remember, if you want to call in, folks, call in 424-262-0904, 424-262-0904, and me and Steve will address your messages. And here's our first message that we got. I'm going to put it up to the mic.
Uh-oh. Speakerphone's not working.
Liz and Jed from San Francisco. We're your biggest fans. We came to see you in San Francisco. We've been following you since In Ruins, and we love your podcast.
We don't really love that Steve guy, though.
Jed doesn't.
That's my friends.
But we have a question, and we don't know if this is something you're seeing around the country, and we only felt comfortable talking with you about it.
So we have this situation where our family members are reviewing themselves and each other and us on Yelp and giving us bad reviews, like 1 star for Liz, because she said this against me, and we don't know what to do about it.
And we thought the only person that could address this in the entire nation is Eddie Pepitone. Thank you very much.
Take
All
care.
Right, bye.
Love you guys. Bye.
So that were your friends?
I don't know. They might have been.
Oh,
I don't know. At the end, I thought that's a great practical joke, though.
Why did you say they were your friends?
Because it sounded like my buddy Mark. It sounded just like my buddy Mark.
Does he have a girlfriend, Liz?
Yeah, but she didn't sound like... Fuck.
But that is hilarious that they're getting rated.
You believe that? I think that was just a joke.
I think that is so funny. What a funny concept that you can rate your family on Yelp. Thanks, you guys, for that call. Like you could rate. Let's see, Liz and Jed. That was from San Francisco. I mean, they sounded, they sounded like they loved me, and they're.
I think what we should
don't
do
really love that Steve guy.
Is rate them on Yelp, and they're fucking.
Well, my rating would be high for them, but yours would be low.
Very low.
But that is funny that everybody. There was actually an episode of Black Mirror. You ever watch Black Mirror?
No.
Amanda has. Maybe Amanda should be my sidekick. But Black Mirror is about technology and how, and it happens with cab rides. Like when I take a Lyft, they rate, you rate the Lyft driver, but then I found out that they rate you as well. And this Black Mirror episode was about this woman who, everybody is smiling to each other because they all want high ratings, and your access to things depends on high ratings.
How people rate you.
Yeah, and then this woman who's like, just like everything is great, suddenly someone rates her low, and then more people rate her low, and she just starts going down, and it was really a funny episode. But that is funny to say, my father wouldn't lend me money, so I'm going to rate him half star. And then you give the reason why, he's tight with his money, and just be funny, Bob Pepitone. Like if you could just look anyone else on Yelp.
It's kind of what social media is. I mean, social media is everybody rating each other.
You think so?
Kind of, yeah. Yeah, you love it, you like it, it makes you happy, it makes you laugh. Or we just don't engage at all.
Let's try one more call before Steve calls in, or as I like to call him, Dick Smoker.
Dick Smoker.
Hey Eddie, this is Adam again. I didn't really write down what I was going to say beforehand, so things came out a little muffled. If the tone was what's the word? If the tone that I had an overtone of disdain for the type of forward person that Steve is with the lady, then that's not what I was talking about at all. I'm not talking about a person who is forthright and likes to talk to women and chat them up and, be forward about it. I'm that same way with people in general. I'm talking about specifically the and as soon as you look up any of these types of books, you'll understand exactly what I'm talking about. But this ego that just is so aligned with diluted psychology and, just parlor trick psychology, taking all these unsuspecting people and using these very, very, very simplified tricks. It's using Freudian logic and turning it into tricks. It's just sickening. But I just wanted to clarify that with you guys. And also I wanted to add on that the reason why these people are here is because they get That's Just Himmed every day. And, specifically what inspired me calling you guys in the first place was that person that I had mentioned beforehand, my roommate, getting That's Just Himmed by a good friend of mine who he had disrespected outwardly and was just very awful and maniacal and just in general. And I've been hate reading his book, so I see these things that he's trying to do. And so he treated my friend with extreme disrespect. And, of course, I responded to her just saying, that this is my house, and I'm sorry that you were made to feel that way by this person. And, and she said, oh, that's just him. That's just going to happen. And I hear this on such a frequent basis, Eddie and Steve, that I can't stand it anymore. The fact that that type of people have the propensity to not only manipulate everyone around them, but specifically women, and to just have this evil sense of entitlement is, in my book, that's the complete enabling and the forward push of the That's Just Himism, as I like to call it. And I got to thinking, like, how many times has Trump been That's Just Him? To be able to form and enable this absurd narcissistic person that is now in cognitive decline. I just want to know.
Okay, he got cut off by that. Thanks, Adam. And there's a second part to that.
Was great.
We'll get to. But that call, for people who don't remember, was related to his first call, which was about this.
Was that last week that he called? Was that 2 weeks?
I think so. Yeah, I think it was last week. And then you talked about the bus, being on almost getting late on a train.
That's right.
And by the way, have you been late yet?
No.
Not yet. So still since the accident.
Yeah.
You have not been late. It'll happen.
It'll
happen when it's supposed to happen, even if it's 10 years from now. You know what I mean? Here's our call. Our correspondent from New Orleans is calling in. Hey, is this Dick Smoker?
Yeah. This is Dick Smoker. Over?
Over? Over. Hey, Dick. Dick, how you feeling today? Over? No, you got to put on.
I'm feeling very sad because I've been watching your podcast.
Me too. What is wrong with Steve Lally today? What the fuck? Do you?
Here's the thing.
Yeah, tell me.
Here's the thing. First of all, there's a slight delay, so I got to shut the thing off my computer. I am a vapid hater of Steve Lally. You know this.
Oh shit!
You're wait a minute. You hate Lally.
I hate Lally with the passion of a fucking 1,000 suns.
Well, this might be an awkward conversation then, because you're going to be our regular New Orleans correspondent, Dick.
No, I know, but listen, there's an ending to this.
Okay.
So, every now and again, I check into the podcast and see what's going on. Right?
And then you shut it the fuck off, right? And then you shut it the fuck off. Then you shut it the fuck off.
Well, it's depressing. So
yeah.
Fuck. Every now and again, I'll get a notice on my phone saying, "Oh, Eddie Pepitone's live." I say, "Oh, Eddie, he's so funny. Eddie's the best." I log in. then I start here, just like I did a few minutes ago. Oh, there's fucking dead manatees rolling onto the shore.
I fucking know.
Okay,
This is not my fucking fault, by the way. I didn't bring up the dead manatees.
Yeah. So I say, oh, great, dead manatees are rolling up on the shore, and everything is bad, and I'm going to start drinking again. And so I log off. But usually what happens is Steve Lally will say something, or there will be some kind of interaction between you and Steve Lally.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I start focusing in on Steve Lally, and I say to myself, oh, God, I hate Steve Lally. I hate him so much. Now, here's the thing, though.
Yes, sir.
Today I logged in, and I watched you, Eddie Pepitone, attack Steve Lally, passive-aggressively attack him, over bringing up chemtrails, and now I'm forced to defend Steve Lally.
Wow, thank you, Dick. You know what it shows to me, Dick? It shows to me that you are a truthful person. Like, you hate Steve Lally, yet if you see Steve Lally being abused in any way,
passive-aggressively,
you'll defend Lally, even though you don't like the man.
You are hitting the nail on the head. And
that's what I like
about
you.
Yeah. It surprised me. This creates conflict in me because I see you like, hey, why are you bringing up chemtrails, yada, yada. There's a lot of uncomfortable bullshit going on in the room. And I say, this is a fucking nightmare. This is supposed to be a comedy show.
No, you're wrong about that. No, let me tell you something, Dick. Dick Smoker, who, by the way, he loves cigars, and that's why, he changed his name legally in court. He's in New Orleans. Dick, this is not necessarily a comedy podcast. Look, I do stand-up comedy, as you know, Dick. You love my stand-up comedy. You love me. You love what I do comedically. But podcasts, you go into all kinds of realms, and if it gets uncomfortable, so fucking be it. You understand, Dick?
All right. Well,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I mean,
it's like a bad Thanksgiving dinner, right? It's like a bad Thanksgiving dinner with only two people.
Well,
like two people.
Listen, I just tuned in, and you have to forgive me because I got you on speakerphone. Thanks,
Dick. Thanks for really making time for us on speaker.
Yeah, so I think I'm having a problem with. I think I might have some earwax in the regular hole, so I got to put you on speakerphone.
Oh,
I'm
earwax
in the regular hole.
Lolly likes you. So hey, listen. Tell us about New Orleans. What the fuck? You don't care about the red tide in Western Florida that's killing manatees and sea turtles, innocent fucking creatures. I hate it. I fucking get mad. That's why I brought it up, Dick.
Yeah, look, I have a different perspective.
What's your perspective? What's your fucking perspective?
I don't like to see, I'm an animal lover myself.
I know you are.
I don't like to see animals suffer. I'm very concerned about global warming.
Yes.
But that's one side of the argument.
Right.
The other side of the argument is our lifestyle. I think you used to have a bit years ago where you said that you're talking about your dad's generation, and which was the greatest generation, as we know, and that correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe every time he reached his hand out to something, he cut his hand.
That's right.
Correct?
Yes, that's how tough that generation was. Every time he reached, time he reached for the salt, he cut his hand or something like that. Yeah.
Now, my grandfather also from that generation, World War II. These guys were men, right? These were real friggin' men. They chewed nails for breakfast.
Yes. Get to the point, Dick. Get to the point, Dick. Is this what they do in New Orleans? They just kind of dance around
this makes me feel better about being hated by this guy who just drones on. Go ahead, Dick. Go ahead.
Okay, now listen. What you get 2 generations later, for a man is you get Steve Lally, right? And
what do you mean? What do you mean by that? Why are you attacking Lolly?
I'm sorry. I just
No. I want to know. I'm interested to know why you hate me so much. What did I do or say that you hate me so much? I'm curious to know. Hey, I saw Eddie on Joe Rogan's podcast. Nothing can be worse than the comment section of that. So you go ahead, Dick. Unload on me. You know, let's make it fucking equal here. I'm not a man because I'm 2 generations later.
Yeah. Why is Steve not a man, Dick?
This is the thing. Just from a primal sense, Steve Lally brings out my hunter instinct. Do you understand?
Your hunter instinct? Yeah, no, tell us.
So
Explain.
in other words, if I was in L.A., let's say you and I were walking down whatever kind of abomination street that you hang out over there in Los Angeles.
Yes.
And Steve Lally was you know, we saw him and he turned his back on me. Mm-hmm. My hunter instinct would kick in. I would chase him down. I would bite him in the throat because, you know, he is a weak man. He is a weak man.
Right.
Wow. So what you're saying is Eddie doesn't have this hunter instinct because he invited me in, made me his sidekick, thought I was funny. So he obviously has a totally different sensibility than you. So what you're saying is Eddie's a pussy.
See how he turned that?
On some level, listen, I like the way you think there, but you're on some level.
Yeah.
Eddie is a little bit of a puss on some level.
Oh, definitely. I freely admit it, Stevie. I just went on Zoloft. The medication got tweaked to 150 milligrams. What can I say? I can't face anything anymore.
Here's the thing, Raleigh, and this is what you need to worry about. When Eddie's brain chemistry starts to balance out a little bit, you're in for it. Eddie will attack you.
I attacked him today.
Here's what your Dick Smoker. Here's what your fucking problem is. You may be misjudging me, and I might kick your fucking ass. So your instinct might be wrong, and you might get your fucking ass kicked. So watch out for the guys you think are pussies, motherfucker.
Raleigh. I'm looking at you.
By the way, he started shaking a little.
I'm looking at you right now, and I know that's not going to happen. I can see you on my.
I think Steve is taking this too seriously because he was shaking.
No, I'm not shaking. That guy's serious. He's serious. He thinks I'm a fucking bitch. He thinks he doesn't know I spent. He doesn't know. This fucking guy.
Lolly.
Go ahead.
I want you to remember that I started off saying, and I know Eddie for many years. I've been following his career. I started off saying he was attacking you, and that I'm here to defend you.
You didn't start off with that. You followed up with that. You started off with I hate fucking Lolly. That's what you started off with.
I think he's right, Dick.
Yeah, and by the way, you don't know that I spent 10 years in black comedy clubs in South Central Los Angeles. I was like one of 4 or 5 white people down there. So let me tell you something.
That's racist.
You know. So we have a PC bully. We got a PC bully in New Orleans.
That is racist. That is racist. Let me listen. May I say, and I think it's obvious to your listeners, but may I say why that is racist?
Why?
That is racist because what he's saying is he's saying that the fact that he was in a club with a bunch of African Americans makes him tough.
First of all, just the fact that you say African American lets me know you're a fucking bitch. Just the fact that you say African American lets me know how fucking disconnected you are from reality. African American? Would you get fucked in the ass by Oprah Winfrey holding Mickey Mouse's dick?
You know what?
Hey, this is
This is not the tone you wanted, Eddie.
No. I mean, this is our New Orleans. Dick is our New Orleans correspondent, and I didn't know it was going to spiral into this, but we have to go with it.
He asked for it.
Go ahead, Dick. What were you going to? What? Because on most broadcast networks, we have to go with it.
Well, we have to go with it.
On most, go ahead.
Yeah, most
Dick.
broadcasters.
Go ahead, Dick. Continue your onslaught.
Okay, so here's the thing. This is what I'm happy about, and I mean this wholeheartedly.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
I have been watching this fucking abomination of a podcast.
The numbers have been going down. You're right. Go ahead. No, I mean, you know.
They were never high.
They were never high. That's correct.
Every week I tune in. I say, oh, my God, Eddie Pepitone might be the greatest living comic.
That's true.
Steve says that, too.
Why is this podcast such a fucking abomination? And why can't I get over my hate for Steve Lally? Now, all of a sudden, just my very presence of an actual man on the phone is bringing out
the man.
Steve Lally is fucking in a rage.
Yeah. So what am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong with Steve Lally? Am I fucking coddling him too much, Dick? Like you brought out the rage in him today. What am I doing wrong with Steve Lally?
I think there needs to be more speaking of truth.
Yes.
There needs to be more truth. Here's the thing.
Steve hasn't gotten laid.
You know,
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
You tell Steve Lally he's a pussy, okay?
He's listening.
He perks up. He perks up.
Yeah, he did. He was getting seriously like he was ready to throw
Well,
down.
I think most guys would, don't you? I mean, how do you expect a guy to react to that?
Well, I don't know. I would take it. You know,
You take
it's
it
a
well?
phone call from
From a guy
From
in
a
New
New
Orleans.
Orleans
But he's going to be
correspondent.
calling in all the time, so I got to let him know.
well.
If he's going to be a regular on the show, we gotta like.
Well, I think he's getting it out front. Well, go ahead, Dick.
I will tell you how Eddie would react to it. If somebody on the street called Eddie a pussy, he would immediately call his therapist and say, "Oh my God, somebody called me a pussy."
Yeah.
You wouldn't react the way you did, Steve Lally. I think you got a lot of rage buried up underneath the surface.
That might be true.
I think.
Do you think that's true? That you have a lot of because we talk about the Jewish faith. Steve is into the Jewish faith and how we try to use spirituality to calm ourselves down and prayers and stuff like that. And you know what I'm talking about, Dick. I know you. You're a spiritual guy. You say you are. I know otherwise. Dick is one of these guys who says he's spiritual, but in reality, he's like dog eat dog. Would you say that's an accurate assessment of you, Dick?
I would not, Eddie.
Well, how would you describe it, Dick?
Well, listen. First of all, let me say this. I believe that there is only one God, and that is the God of the Jewish people, Steve Lally.
Wow.
Okay?
Whoa.
that is the God. And I say this as a non-Jew, that there really is only one God, and that is thus. Now, that aside,
Boy, Dick is more complicated than I thought. Go ahead, Dick.
I think it's great that Steve Lally tries to use religion to keep himself calm, but I think he's got to be true to who he is, and I think that maybe I'm bringing out the real Steve Lally.
First of all,
Go ahead, Steve.
I actually appreciate this call. I appreciate Dick.
Dick is real. Dick is real. And it is.
I appreciate Dick's honesty. I think partly Dick, the fact that you've thought about me that much is flattering.
Yeah, that's true.
Second of all, the fact that you believe in one God, you can call me a pussy anytime you want. I mean, that's all that matters. To me, that's the main thing. Everything else is less sacred than that. So,
wow,
maybe you can teach me to be more of a man, or maybe you'll meet me one day and think you were wrong. Either way, we'll figure it out.
What do you think of that, Dick?
Look, man, I think things are going off the rails.
I know, it went from funny to like...
It was never funny.
Well, yeah. No, it was pretty funny. Conflict can be funny.
That's my sincere...
That's
what I sincerely mean, though.
I know you do. I know you do.
I don't know...
Which is good.
Yeah.
But I thought it was an interesting comic that Dick brought up, and Dick is very insightful. that maybe you do have a lot of suppressed rage. And I know you.
Yeah.
And I think.
Do you feel like I have suppressed rage?
I think so.
Really?
Yeah. Do you? I don't want to fuck you up, though, because you could plant that in someone's head.
I know I do have.
Dick has so much suppressed rage.
I think he might be projecting his on me. That's what might be happening there. Because
But
I
Dick
don't know
smokes
if I
it
have.
out. Dick smokes it out with cigars.
Dick
like,
smokes it out?
You should see him. Dick smokes. Dick smoker.
Every now and again, we just get a good inadvertent joke there.
When Dick is smoking cigars, he is just, it's rageful. Right, Dick?
Yeah, I'm doing it right now. Yeah,
you smoking a dick? Are you smoking a dick right now?
Yeah, I am.
Do you remember what?
I'm uncomfortable with Steve Lally making assertions as to what's funny and what isn't. I don't like it. Somebody has to be.
I think we're getting down to the bottom of what's happening here. Dick wants to be the sidekick on your show. That's what's really going on here. Dick knows he could do a better job, and thinks he should be here. So why don't we just
Is that true, Dick?
That is not true. But
okay.
I will say this.
Yeah.
That does explain psychologically Steve Lally's reaction.
I love
Steve
the back
Lally.
and forth.
Steve Lally's threatened. He's
Yeah.
been threatened by my. Let me ask you a question. Have
Yeah.
you ever had a special correspondent on the show before? Maybe
No.
That's it.
No,
we have
But we also haven't had. This is the
Oh,
first criticism
Did you just,
we've ever had of the show.
what was that? Say again.
This is the first time we've had anyone call and really criticize the show. Really say, the show's boring, it's depressing. I've had people tell me that privately.
You never told me.
I didn't want you to hear that. But now it's part of the show, so we might as well.
But my reaction to, it's boring, depressing, and, is like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm here to just talk about whatever the fuck I want to talk about. And if people find it boring and depressing, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't.
Well, listen.
Yeah, go ahead, Steve.
I think that Lally is stretching a little bit. What I said was I tuned in about 5 minutes ago, and I was hearing about dead manatees washing up in the shore. You
Right.
guys both look like you were about to start crying, and I found that a little off-putting
Yeah.
and depressing. I'm not saying that the show in general, because I'll be honest, I don't really tune in that much, mainly because of my visceral hate. But Steve fucking
I think this is a great segment, and Dick, you're great. Now, you're in New Orleans. Let's get off of Steve Lally for a bit. You're in New Orleans. Steve, do you have any questions?
Absolutely
for Dick
not.
Smoker?
I don't have any questions. I think we've got as much information as we need here. From
I
me.
wanted to ask him about something about New Orleans.
Well, I haven't.
You don't have
I've
any
only been
questions
through.
about-
I haven't been to. I have.
Oh,
only
but you
been
don't have
through.
any questions about no, Steve, Dick, how is New Orleans? What is going on? Did you get into voodoo down there? I hear there's a lot of voodoo. People throw up on the streets. What's the real New Orleans like? Before we let you go.
You know what? It's funny you say people throw up on the streets,
Yeah.
because this is true. You know how they call New York Urinetown? Over here, there's vomit everywhere. In the
Unbelievable.
French Quarter.
That's where all the tourists.
Yeah, I mean, it's just really, really bad.
Wow.
I don't know what else I can tell you. I accidentally made love about a week and a half ago to are we allowed to say whore anymore, or do we have to say sex worker?
I think sex worker. Right, Steve?
Whore.
Steve says whore.
The fact that he's even asking that is telling me everything I need to know.
You accidentally.
Made love to a whore.
Accident.
How was that accidental?
Yeah, that's a good.
So I have a couple of friends out here. You know, you know, Eddie, I'm not one to frequent strip clubs. I don't like them. I think they're silly. But
Yeah,
I
they
had a bunch of friends out here.
Mm-hmm.
One of them was getting married, and they said, "Oh, Steven, you should come with us," and yada yada. So
Mm-hmm.
they take me to this strip club, and I meet a young lady who's working there. You know, I'm sitting at the bar, and I'm smoking a dick. And she comes over and starts chatting with me. And she was lovely, very, sweet and polite. We had a wonderful conversation about Camus' The Stranger.
Yeah, that's what most sex workers are talking about lately. is Camus'
It's a pretty sophisticated whore.
As when it came time to leave, which was about 3:30 in the morning, I went over to her and her friend, and I said, "Hey, we're heading out, whatever." And she said, "Where are you guys going after this?" And I said, "Well, we're stopping back at the cigar shop because we're going to pick up some more cigars." A buddy of mine manages the place; he opens it up sometimes late. And she said, "Well, we'll meet you over there."
Right.
So I thought, "Wow, this is great. Everything's going well tonight. Maybe Stevie's going to get lucky. Maybe Dick Smoker's going to, going to get lucky tonight." So she calls, says, "Where are you?" They come over.
Yeah.
And then she sits on my lap, and we start talking. And then she says, we end up going to the bedroom. And then she says,
hold it, a bedroom in a cigar shop.
Go ahead,
it's
Steve.
It's upstairs. Yeah. So there's a cigar shop on the ground level, and there's 3 rooms upstairs. So we go upstairs, and she asked me for $300. She asked me for $300. So
Right.
I was like, "What?" Yeah. I said, "You want me to pay you?" And she says, "Well, yeah." And then I was horrified. And then I gave her $300.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm amazed that a man can make a story about having sex with a prostitute that fucking boring. Jesus Christ, man.
Wow, Slolly's coming at you, buddy.
Jeez, you better stay in fucking New Orleans.
This is the thing. I don't know who's laughing there in the background. Is that Amanda laughing in the background?
Yeah.
Amanda's laughing.
Now he's gonna go after Amanda.
Try me.
I think Amanda and Lolly have a little thing going on, maybe on the side.
This
Is
guy,
that true?
this guy proves everything. He doesn't know shit about anything. This guy's wrong about everything. That makes me feel better because for a second I was thinking maybe I'm a pussy.
What did he say about me?
He said we have something going on. Because you laughed because I said he was a boring fuck.
No, I laughed because you were right.
Hey, Dick, this has been, by the way, Dick, this has been a great fucking call. I don't know if Steve agrees. Do you agree, Steve?
No, I don't agree, but I do appreciate it. I respect his honesty.
Yeah, he's honest. He's pretty funny. I mean, it's truthful stuff, and it's from the Big Easy. I mean, it's from the heart of the Big Easy. And what people don't know about Dick Smoker is that he's a dyed-in-the-wool New Yorker. Now, Steve is a Chicago boy.
Okay, wait. Why did you? This is one question I have about the
Okay.
Big Easy. Why, Dick Smoker, did you leave New York and go to the Big Easy? What made you go to New Orleans?
Look, Lolly, I got to be honest. I started off trying to defend you, and now Eddie knows that if I chose, I could eviscerate you right now live on Facebook. And I'm not doing it because this is like a bear, playing with a puppy. This is silly. Now, you and I need to make peace, Lolly, before we get off.
Yeah.
You know what's going to happen? If we don't make peace, you're going to be up tonight staring at the ceiling, thinking about this.
Oh, shit. So, yeah, let's make peace then between you guys.
Okay, you started off since you decided to tell me how much you fucking hate me. So you go ahead and start off your peacemaking seminar here.
This is the thing, is I don't know why this is news to you. Do you guys not read your comments? Well, whenever I log on, I post on there, "I hate Steve Lolly."
Really? Does he? Have you seen that?
I think so. I think I saw it once. But go ahead, Steve.
What? I've even left messages that said I hate Steve Lolly. But this is the thing, Lolly. Why are you taking this so personal? You're a public figure. What? How come I'm not allowed to hate you?
I'll tell you.
How come I'm not allowed to hate you?
You're absolutely allowed to hate me. Second thing is, nobody's ever hated me like this. This is the first time I've ever really been hated like this. So
maybe this is good for you.
I slap back, I mean, what do you want me to do?
Well, come on. We're stand-up comedians.
Yeah, but I never
We've
been on a
gotten
show
hated
or
before.
something. Not like this, though. Not like this behind my back.
What do you mean like this?
Behind your back?
It's all
Yeah,
like
yeah.
this.
It's L.A. It's
Oh,
L.A.
I got you, I
It's
got you.
never like by a New Yorker. Like, I really hate you, you motherfucker. I'm at a fucking mechanic's garage in Queens. Why don't you get this fucking guy off your fucking show? Never like that. So this is the first time for me. So maybe that's why I'm
Never been hated
reacting
for long,
like.
it's usually a large crowd.
Did you guys make
What is
peace?
Amanda wearing? Before I get off the phone, what is Amanda wearing?
He wants to know what you're wearing. Purple blouse. She's unbuttoning. No, purple blouse, black pants, and flip flops, and glasses, sunglasses
Get a
on
picture
top
of
of
her
the
toes. Text me over a picture of her toes in a flip flop.
This poor guy. This poor guy's worse off
All right,
than me
Dick.
since the accident.
Dick, I love you, buddy. We're gonna give you a call. I think this is an intriguing thing, that you bring up about Steve's repressed rage. And it was interesting to see you guys bat this back and forth. And has there been any peace made?
I'm just waiting. I'm waiting on this guy to make peace with me.
Oh, make peace with Steve, Dick.
Raleigh, I love you, man. Even though you are what you are, and we all know what you are. I love you.
What about you, Steve?
I don't know if I love you, brother, but
there's one God. He said there's one God.
I know God loves you, and that's the main thing.
There's one God, but do you want to be like your creator, Lolly? That's what you have to ask yourself. Do you want to be like your creator?
I do, but I think it's going to take till the next podcast for me to get there. Because you know. All right.
Talk to you next week, Dick. Thank you for calling in, babe. All right, Stevie, this is time for it. You read this one. This is a good time for one of our sponsors. We got to get going. Boy, that was
a long one too, huh?
Yeah,
man.
And it was a psychodrama.
Man, that was crazy. I didn't know it was going to happen. But when I get abused on camera, when I get abused in the studio, I always blame climate breakdown. Others say act of God. I say those trees up in Reading set themselves ablaze because they just couldn't deal with another day of this goddamn heat. But unlike trees, I can do something beneficial to fight climate breakdown. I can have a delicious Scream Cream brand ice cream sandwich, raspberry rhubarb swirl, decadent quadruple chocolate, pistachio butter figaroo. I saw a dolphin come up out of the water, take a knife in its mouth, and begin peeling its own skin off because our oceans are boiling. These sandwiches are delicious, and the crusts come in all sorts of cookie flavors. I swear that dolphin locked eyes with me and laughed while he did it. If you order online, you can mix and match your own ice cream with any cookie available. But you'll have to be quick. I'm ordering all the snickerdoodle as soon as this podcast is over. When it was done laughing, that dolphin lay and washed up in garbage and died. Scream Cream brand ice cream sandwiches. Beat the heat with a little treat.
Also, Dick Smoker's call. It did get me a little bit that, calling the podcast, boring, even though I was like, I don't give a shit. And then people have told you, it turns out that the podcast is depressing.
A couple people have said that to me, yeah.
I think what people are looking for is comedy.
Right.
And if it happens, that's fine. We got all these funny ads, I think, and we riff on shit, but it's to me the podcasts are more just about life and like what's going on, living and stuff. And I want to tell people to rate us on iTunes. I think that's funny to bring out after we've talked about how people hate
bad the fucking.
But I know Facebook has been in the news a lot lately. They let Russians fuck our elections harder than Roy Moore at a toddlers and tiaras cast party. That's written by Matt Rasamoto. Matt buys into this whole Russian bullshit. You know what I mean? The Russians are why Hillary lost.
You think he does?
Yeah, or else why? Because I don't even mention this Russian horse shit. Do you?
No. Well,
I think it's a big red herring, the fact that corporations have taken over America and fucking everybody sideways.
If mainstream news is playing it on a loop, you can.
Yeah.
It's good to question it. That's my way.
But each week, pep talks and pieces of nut are coming flying. Where else do you get people? Pieces of nuts are flying out of their mouths on podcasts. But each week, Pep Talks diligently goes live on Facebook because at Pep Talks, we give unrepentant, money-hungry billionaires the benefit of the doubt. Just as you, dear podcast consumer, never fail to rate and review us on iTunes, heart us on SoundCloud, and create dozens of Facebook bots to watch our podcast. At the end of the day, what is more important? Boycotting an immoral social media website for sucking the nearest gilded teat, or aggressively stamping out an inner office bulk email about how frightfully terrific this podcast is? I mean, be aggressive. Make that email your LinkedIn profile. Get that Pep Talks review tattooed on your own child's face, because your love for us is the most beautiful thing in the world. All right, let's wrap it up, Stevie. So that was an interesting
that was
podcast.
wild.
This was all about kind of like going after you day.
Kind of, man.
Because I went after you.
Well, dude, here's the thing. Dude, when you call in, you're going to go after me, but I don't know as the co-host or the psychic that I'm going to be getting gone after. So there's an adjustment period for me where I'm like, oh, shit, this guy really hates me. I got to, like, deal with that now. Now I have to deal with that instead of just having a nice conversation with Eddie.
You felt like he really hated you? That's what was interesting
to me.
First
of all, I don't know how you're.
No, but what was interesting to me was that you really got pissed, though.
Well, I had to let him
because
know.
We're comics. Like, someone hates me. I mean, my skin, and maybe I'd be wrong if someone called in like that. But my skin has gotten so hardened. Like, when we were in that coffee shop the other day, and I was on Joe Rogan's podcast, and there was just all these comments about how fuck this guy.
Well, it was Joe Rogan and you. It wasn't just you. It was both of you.
No, it was pretty much me. He's got all those fans. But what I wanted to say is that, it stung at first, and then I was like,
yeah, but you didn't have to hear
fuck?
the same guy talking about
That's
it for
true.
25 minutes. Look, I don't know that guy.
Yeah,
you know that guy.
He's a great guy.
He's your friend.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
So he's got to be all right. He's got to be all right. If he's your friend and you say he's a great guy, he's got to be all right. But the fact that he thinks I'm a pussy, so then I had to let him know, look, I'm not a pussy, and then that's it. And I let him know. I said I'm not, and he said African American, and that kind of set me off. That's what a pussy says. That's what a pussy. To me, that's what's sort of a disconnected. African American.
Well, I think this has been a very interesting podcast. We have peeled a layer of the onion from Steve.
Thanks, Eddie.
And I got pissed at the beginning because of the chemtrail comment.
Right.
Well, how was I passive aggressive though?
You were pissed before that about the oil spill and the environment, and then he was. Just do what you want to fucking do, and do what you want to do.
Yeah.
It's your podcast. You can't worry about market surveying every fucking person's opinion.
Right.
But what you have, you don't have a correspondent. You have a satellite critic. That guy was a satellite critic of your show.
Yeah.
He wasn't a correspondent. He didn't tell us anything about what's happening in fucking New Orleans.
That was funny. I mean, and you know what was really funny too to me was that we just, like, I was thinking if that was ever broadcast on CNN or any network, they would have cut it off.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But on a podcast, it's like keep going. We're gonna play out this psychodrama. But anyway, you have any dates you want to promo?
Yes, I'm in El Monte.
El Monte.
Eddie goes to where are you going?
I'm going to Amsterdam.
Yeah, he's going to
Monday.
Europe. He's going to Europe. I'm going to El Monte. I'll be in El Monte August 7th at the Silver Dollar Saloon. With a bunch of other comics you never heard of.
I will be in Amsterdam at Toomler's August 8, 9, 10, and 11, 4 nights in Amsterdam. I'm going to be in Austin for the Altercation Comedy Festival September 27th, and then I'm going to go to Fargo, North Dakota at the October 19 and 20 at the, I believe it's the Tap Room on State. I'll get that out there, but look for that in October and rate us on iTunes. Thanks to Aaron, our producer in-house here, and thanks to Matt Rasamoto, our producer out-of-house. And what else do we want?
Oh, did you see anything funny in the street?
Yes. Thank you, Steve. We almost left you without our famous segment. Did you see? Did you see? Have you seen? Have you seen anything funny on the street? Have you seen anything funny on the street this week?
I haven't.
You didn't see anything funny? Nothing.
You?
No, but no.
Okay.
No. All right, everybody. Thanks, everybody, for coming. Bye. Till next time.